Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As always, I am your boy Big Al Better. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down. I'm going to do a quick little recap of how today's bets, or I guess Saturday's bets went, and then we're going to hop into Sunday's bets, and I'm going to give you guys my leans for the over/under, the spread on the 4 games going on. We got the second day of playoff games. It was a fun first day, and now we get to jump into the second one. So I'm going to take 3 to 4 minutes here to break down the how Saturday's games went. If you guys don't care about that at all, just go ahead and jump to about 5 minutes on this video, and that will be where I jump into the picks going forward. But we're going to go ahead and do a recap real quick, just because if you guys have been riding with us, you want to know how we're doing. I want to know how we're doing. Yada yada. I'm just trying to, we're trying to share and go here, right? So anyway, let's hop into how Saturday's games went. So we had the first game, the Bucks and the Pacers. We were on the Bucks plus the over, and we were on the Bucks plus 5.5, and we were on the over 224. As you guys, if you watch the games, you guys know the Bucks never had really a chance. The Pacers got out to a quick lead. They never really let go of that thing. They were going from the jump street, so they ended up winning that thing by almost 20 points. It was 19 points. So the Bucks do not cover 5.5. Over under at 224. We were on the over, and it was 117 to 98. So we did not get there. It was an under 215 is where they got to. We were 9 points off of being able to touch the over. So unfortunately, there we take the L. As far as the 4 pick parlay, oh my goodness, we were so close. We had Pascal Siakam 7+ rebounds. He hits. We have Pascal Siakam over 19.5 points, which was his line, by the way. That hits. We had Brooke Lopez over 18.5 points, rebounds, assists. He only got to 13. So that does not cash. And we had Tyrese Halliburton under 34.5 PRA. I think he got to almost 30. He was at the high 20s. It was getting a little dicey there because he started to cook. He had 5 assists in the first quarter, like quickly. And I watched the whole game. And early on in the first quarter, I saw him give out like 2 assists, and I was like, okay, 2, that's fine. Then it goes to commercial break. I check my phone to see the stats, and he has 4 or 5. And I was like, what? How? And so anyway, he's picking up assists left and right, but he stayed under the 34.5. So unfortunately, we just missed on that. We had Brooke Lopez, like I said. He did not get to 18.5. He was stuck at 12 or 13. He played good minutes. He just didn't end up getting us our number. That would have been a plus 800 parlay. So it was really a bummer to hit that. We had 3 of the parlays. I think it's 3, right? Yeah, 3 of the parlays we gave out on the day. I guess technically 4. We missed by 1 leg. Which is just a freaking brutal heartbreak. But because they were all, the lowest one was plus 800, and we had a couple plus 1000s in there. So anyway, so that's how the first game of the day went. It was a bummer. It was a good game. It was a fun game to watch, but we were just completely wrong on our thesis. All the experts were saying the Bucks and Giannis and how well they'd been playing, yada yada yada, and so we kind of rode with that because it felt like a lot of points. Pacers said we don't really care. We're the Pacers. We're gonna win at home. So that's how that went. Second game was the most fun game of the day to watch, arguably. Well, the Pistons Knicks was really good, but this Clippers Nuggets game, man, over under set at 223.5. We were on the over. That does not cash. And then the spread was 2.5. It had started at 4 and 5.5. And I liked the Clippers at 5.5, but because it got down to 2.5, I decided to take the Nuggets. That's what I was saying in the video yesterday. I was like, only 3 points at home. You got to take that. Well, this game goes to overtime. The final total 110 to 112. Nuggets do win, but they don't cover 2.5. So if you guys were one of the lucky people that was able to somehow get them at 1.5, minus 1.5, you did cash, which is awesome. But we missed the over by 2 points, and we miss we miss covering by literally. I guess we miss a push by half a point, and we miss covering by a whole point. So unfortunately, that's how that goes. For this one, this was the worst 4 pick of the day. We had Norman Powell over 2.5 rebounds. That cashes. The other 3 did not cash. That would be Ivica Zubac over 2.5 assists. He had 2 assists early. I think it was either at the end of the first quarter or middle of the second. He had 2 assists. He never got another one, and I was just like, oh my goodness, right? Jokic under 9.5 assists. Of course, he goes for 12. And then Norman Powell over 17.5 points. He only had, I believe, 12 points. So that one does not cash for us. So that's a bummer there. Next, we'll hop into the Pistons Knicks game. This one was a fun one. High scoring affair, really close. I thought the Pistons were going to do it for us. We were on the Pistons plus 7. They ended up losing by 9. So it was just like, it was right there. Or actually, I guess 11, my bad. They lose by 11, but it was still close. And then the over-under was set at 220. We were on the over. That does cash. They got to 235. So We split there. As far as the 4 pick on this one, we had Brunson for 40 plus points, rebounds, assists. That cashes. He had 43. We had Tobias Harris 20 plus PRA. He had 30. We had Josh Hart over 12.5 points. He had 13. So he just gets us over. And then the last line we had Tobias Harris over 6.5 rebounds. He ends the game at 6. Just complete heartbreak. That was a plus 1,000 parlay, which is just, it's so brutal, man. By the half rebound, we lose this thing. It's just, it sucks, man. It sucks. But it's also cool because it's the first day of the playoffs and we're already right there. It's like we're knocking on the door. We just open it up, open it up. All right, last game of the night was the Timberwolves and the Lakers. We were on the under 216 because a lot of their games had been low scoring, and we were on the Lakers -4. If you guys watched the game, obviously the Lakers did not come to play, or the Timberwolves really came to play. However you want to delineate how that went. We did cash the under 216. They got to 212. Yeah, they got to 212. So we a little wiggle room there, but so the under was the good side, but the Lakers -4 was not. The Timberwolves won by 95 to 117. What do you like? That's a 20-point win. As far as the 4 pick on this one, we had Anthony Edwards under 38.5 PRA. Can't even make this up. He gets to 40. Like literally barely gets there, barely covers it. Dante DiVincenzo over 16.5 PRA. Check. Ruby Hachimura under 18.5 PRA. We cashed that, which is crazy because he was at 14 at halftime and he only got 2 more. He ended at 16. So we cashed that one. And then Mike Conley over 6.5 points. He got to 9 or he got to 11. So we cashed that one as well. So unfortunately, like I said, the parlays, we were one off on all of them. And then we had the 4 pick where we took 1 pick from each game. We had Pascal Siakam. That cashes. We had Tobias Harris over 20 plus PRA. That cashes. We had Dante DiVincenzo over 16.5 PRA. That cashes. But Vicha Zubac over 2.5 assists does not cash. And it's just, I don't know. It's brutal, man. So anyway, that was how it went on the night. Like I said, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4 parlays, all one leg away from hitting. And, yeah. So anyway, not our best day, but it's the first day of the playoffs. It's these things are gonna happen. We go 2 of 6, 2 of 8, so 2 and 6 on our over under and spread picks, which is not great at all, right? But it's the first day. We look to bounce back. So without further ado, I think that's about 5 minutes. I guess it was 7. My bad. We're gonna go ahead and hop into these next games here. So boom, that page over. We're going into Sunday's games. Okay, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody out there. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Amen, brother. Okay, let's hop into this. So we got the Grizz taking on the Thunder. That's the first game of the day, right? Over under. Oh, let me switch the screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at over here on DraftKings. That is bada bing right here. Okay, so we've got Grizz Thunder, 13.5-point spread, over under set at 229. Okay, so for this, we're going to be on the Thunder -13.5. They've been rested. They're the better team. They are the best team in basketball for a reason. I almost said football right there. No big deal. Over under set at 229. Now, these dudes did play a bunch of times throughout the season. I believe it was 4 or 5 times they played in the regular season. I'm going to pull that up right now. It's not going to be on the screen for you guys, but I'm going to pull it up over here on my side of the things. Bada bing. They played 4 times, right? The Thunder won all 4. They swept the series, right? And it was never particularly close. They won by 24. They won by 13. That was the closest one. They won by 17, and then they won by 21. So they covered this number in all but one game, and they only didn't cover it by half a point. So I think we have to trust the best team against a Grizz team that did just play, 2 nights ago. They're not as rested. The Thunder have had a ton of rest. Now, I almost took the Grizz just because there may be some rust with the Thunder. So you think like quarter 1, maybe they come out slow, the Grizz get a big lead, and then now the Thunder got to catch up. But my thought was, even if they have a terrible first quarter because they're trying to get back in the flow of things, by the second quarter, I think they'll be feeling it. Shea's going to do what Shea does, which is score 30-something points, and you're going to end up getting a game where the Thunder in the first half try to figure it out, second half blow the doors off and just kill them. So I think the books are setting the number this way for a reason. I think they want people to go to the other side. They don't want to give away a bunch of free money, so they set this number high, hoping you'll take the other side. So we're just going to go ahead and take the Thunder minus the points. We're going to eat the points. It's a lot of points. I understand that, but we are getting the best team. So for this game, and we're going to adjust. We're going to adjust as these games happen. So if it ends up being way closer, it's 6 points, then next game we'll adjust. But for the first game, we're going to take the Thunder, the rested, healthy team, against a Grizz team that's been just playing. As far as an over-under, we're going to take the over here. They got over in all these games, like literally all but one of these games they got over this number. One game touched it, one game was under. The other two were over. I think the Grizz are going to play fast. They know they need to. And like I said, a rested Thunder team's going to come in here and I think score a lot of points. So we're going to be on the over 229, and we're going to be on the Thunder minus 13.5. Moving to the 4-pick parlay. This one's going to be interesting. We've got Jalen Williams, 5+ rebounds, no big deal. He did that. He's done that in every game against these guys. I've got it pulled up right here. Yeah, he had 10, 6, 5, and 5. So he touched this number in 2 of the games, but he got over this number in the others. So we just need him to touch the number, and that cashes. Then we've got Jaren Jackson Jr., 2+ assists. Now, Jaren Jackson, he played in 3 games, 3 of the 4 against these guys. He missed one. His assists, 4, 2, and 4. So, bada bing, he touched it in 1, and he went over in the other 2. So, I feel good about that. Next, Desmond Bane, 20 points. He did that for us the last game against whoever the Grizz played, who they play in the last play-in game. He did that in that game, and he did that against the Warriors. He's been on a tear lately. In the games against these guys, 22, 20, 15, and 3. The 3 was an outlier. That's not normal Desmond Bane basketball. 2020, 15, 2020, 2020, 20, 22, and 15 in the 3 games. So in 2 of the 3, in 2 of the 4, he did get to this number, and he's been playing really great right now. So we're just going to ride the hot hand that he's got. And then our final pick is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, over 39.5 points plus assists in the games against these guys. 35.7 assists, that's 42. 32 points, 8 assists, that's 40. 41 points, 8 assists, that's 49, and then 37.6 assists, that's 43. So he got over this number every time he's played these guys, so we're just to trust him to do that. It's the first round of the playoffs. Shai's going to come out. He's going to ball. He's the leading scorer in the league. So that's the 4-pick parlay. Jalen Williams, 5 rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr., 2+ assists. Desmond Bane, 20 points. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, over 39.5 points plus assists. This one plays out plus 750 over on DraftKings. All right. That's the first game. Let's move to the next one. Magic taking on the Celtics. 14-point spread, as you guys see up here. I guess 13.5 now. It was 14 when I wrote all this down earlier. Over under set at 205.5. We're going to be on the over, 205.5. Even though it is dicey, because both these teams play really good defense. We know the Celtics, but we also know the Celtics are going to get to 120 points almost every single game. That's just what they do. So, the Magic are going to play great defense, but it's one thing to play great defense against an Atlanta Hawks team, in my mind, than it is to play against a Celtics team that's well-rounded and shoots the most threes in the league and is going to be able to score a ton of points. You know what I mean? So when we pull up the season totals for these teams, right, they played 3 times. They were all the games. This number is so low, 205.5, right? They got to 214 in their first game. They got to 217 in their second game, and then their third game, none of the starters for the Celtics played, and this was way low. They got to 175, right? So, but for this one, I expect the Celtics to get to 120. The Magic aren't going to sit there and ditz around. They're going to be forced to play up to the speed. So, and I don't expect them to win. We're going to be on the Celtics minus 14. The Celtics, obviously, reigning champs. They've had a ton of rest, just kind of like the Thunder. They're going to come out here, they're going to dominate, and they're going to do what they do, which they're going to be like, you guys think this Magic team's good? You guys forgot who we are. We are the healthiest team. Like, we've been just waiting for someone to put the pedal to the metal on. So I like the minus 14 with the Celtics here. Once again, we'll adjust if we're wrong, and we see if the game ends up being tighter. It might lead to a tighter series, but they're at home, ready to go, and so I expect it over to be mostly the Celtics putting the heat on these guys, and yeah, I think they're going to win this thing by 20, 25, 23, something like that. I mean, their game at home, the Magic won the 2 games that were in their home, but on the road at the Celtics, which is what this game is, they lost 94-21. So you're talking whatever that is. That's a 27-point win by the Celtics. So yeah, I think they can cover 14 points. So those are our 2 picks for that. As far as the 4-pick parlay goes, we've got Jason Tatum, 3+ 3-pointers. I think he can make 3 of them. We know he's gonna shoot 6 or 7 of them, right? So I think he makes 3 of them. Then we got Jaylen Brown, 29+ points, rebounds, plus assists. For the data I've got for it, he did that. He's done that in both the games. This was actually his line was 29+. Like 30 was his line. Went a touch low just to be able to, kind of, make sure it happens. But in the 2 games, because they only played 3 times, he played in the first 2. He went 35, 9, and 4 with no Tatum, and then he went 26-6, which is 32 PRA. So I feel good about 29 plus PRA, even in a game where Tatum's there, but it's a playoff game, man. They're gonna show up. They're gonna play. Then I got Cole Anthony, 10 plus points. Cole Anthony, all three games against them, 10, 2, and 5. He had 10 points, 23 points, 18 points. So 10 points, and this one's plus money. So I don't know if the book knows something we don't, and we're just making a stupid decision here. But I love the 10 points. If you're gonna give me plus money on him, and he's been playing really good ball lately, they've been having him out there. So I like Cole Anthony for 10 plus points. And then the last line I've got in here is Paolo Banchero, 4 plus assists. He did that he only played 2 games against these guys, and in both games he did have the 4 assists. So when I see something that's 100% hit rate on the games you played against this team on the season, I have to throw it in the parlay, right? So that is, provided the numbers are good. If it's minus 600, we can't throw it in a parlay. It's not going to do anything. But this one was like minus 160, I think. So it felt pretty good. So just to recap for this 4-pick parlay, it's Jason Tatum, three three-pointers. Jaylen Brown, 29 plus points, rebounds plus assists. Cole Anthony, 10 plus points. And Paolo Banchero, 4 plus assists. This thing pays out plus 900 over on DraftKings. Once again, as I always say, check around with the books you guys use. Maybe you can get this thing even higher, which would be awesome. All right, moving on to the second to last game of the day. We have the Heat taking on the Cavs in Cleveland. The over-under set at 215. The spread is 12.5. That's right up here on the board. Ka-chow, ka-chang. We're going to be on the Heat here, plus 12.5. I was looking through the games they played, too. They played 3, I believe. My phone keeps shutting off while I'm sitting here trying to do this, so pardon me for a second as I pull this thing up. But you've got the season series. The Heat have been playing great ball as of late, right? They won their 2 play-in tournament games. Now, granted, are they going to be tired coming into a really hot Cavs team? Yes, but this 12.5, I think it's a little different than the 14 and 13.5 we're taking the Grizz or the Thunder and the Celtics for. I think the Heat are just an enigma. The Grizz coach, do I trust the Grizz coach? No, he's a new coach. Like, they fired their head coach. The Heat coach, Spoelstra, that Heat culture, right? That's a little bit more of something you can count on in a playoff series than what the Grizz have going on and even what the Magic have going on, right? So that is why, if you guys are wondering why I've kind of switched the thesis, because it's like, oh, take the favorite even regardless of the number. Here, I don't know if I trust the Cavs as much. They did win a ton of games, and they played great ball. I tried to trust them down the stretch of the season. They lost a ton of games for us. I was giving those out as lock of the days. Cavs, loss, right? I don't know if they're going to come in hot. I don't know if they're going to, but we know the Heat are hot right now. So anyway, in the 3-game series, what gave me cause for pause too, you've got the Heat. They won the first one, which was back in December, right? Then the Cavs won by 20 in the second game in the Heat's building, and then the other one, the Cavs only won by 5, and that was March 5th. So that their most recent game, they only won by 5 points. So when I see that with a Cavs team that was rolling in their own home, the Heat come in and it's a 5-point game, and I get plus 12.5. I can't overlook that. So we're gonna take the plus 12.5 with the Heat. Maybe it's a mistake, I don't know. But Hero's been balling out of control. Bam plays good. Khalil Ware's insane. He's been getting tons of boards all over the place. So we're going to be on the Heat here. And then the over-under set at 215. We're actually going to be on the over, which might shock you guys because I've been talking in the last couple of videos for the play-in tournament videos that the Heat defense was really, really good, and that's why I liked unders with the Heat. They're like Orlando. We want to play the unders, right? But when I looked at these games, all 3 of these games against the Cavs went to the over. They all covered this number. We had a 235, a 232, and a 219. So the closest we came was a 219, and this is 212. No, 215. My mistake. So I like the over here, especially with a Cleveland team that's going to be rested. They are going to try to run. I just think the Heat are going to be able to keep up with them and play enough defense that they can go on their own runs. So that's my thesis on that. So we're on the Heat and we're on the over. Moving to this 4-pick parlay, this one is the highest paying one, plus 1,000 over on DraftKings. We have Tyler Hero over 28.5 points plus assists. He covered this in the last 2 play-in games, right? He covered this number. We had him for 30.5 against the Hawks the other night. He crushed it. And so we're going to take the 28.5 here. I think he could get 30 points on his own, so we get the points, but we get the assists thrown in there. It feels pretty nice. Then we got Duncan Robinson, 2 plus 3-pointers. He's averaging over 2 for the season. So I feel like he'll be able to get open if he gets 10 to 15 minutes of playing time, which they tend to give him. When he gets open, he shoots the 3, so I think he can make 2 of them. Then we have Davion Mitchell, 11 plus points. He's been kind of a stud lately. 11's a touch more than I love taking him for, but he has been a big factor, and he was a big factor in helping beat the Hawks the other night in that overtime game. And then our final pick is Evan Mobley, 18 plus points. Evan Mobley's just kind of a stud. He's an all-around, he's a power forward, right? All-around player. He gets rebounds, he gets assists, but he's also got a good mid-range jumper. He's kind of Kevin Durant-esque in that mold, in that build. So I like him for 18 plus points, and he's been averaging more than that on the season also. I think he's at 20, 22 points was his average on the season. So for him to get 18 plus points in a game that we expect to get higher scoring than the book even thinks, I like that. You get to the free throw line, hit some mid-range jumpers, maybe hit a couple threes. I don't know if he's a big three-point shooter, but I like him for 18 plus points. This thing pays out plus 1,000 over on DraftKings. Once again, that's Tyler Hero over 28.5 points plus assists, Duncan Robinson 2 plus 3-pointers, Davian Mitchell 11 plus points, and Evan Mobley 18 plus points. And I love it. So let's move into the final game of the night. We have the Golden State Warriors taking on the Houston Rockets. Obviously, this game is a pick'em. It opened up, I think, at 2 or 3 points, and it's moved a bunch since then. It's become a pick'em. The over/under set at 212.5. So for this one, I will tell you guys what blew my mind. I'm just gonna right off the bat. We're gonna go right to the over/under. Right, we're on the under 212.5. It's a low number. I get that. It's the second lowest number of the of tomorrow's games, or like of the day's games, and it's 212.5. It's the Warriors, right? You'd think like tons of points, tons of points. Warriors have been playing great defense since Jimmy Butler got there. They play good defense all year because they're coached well. But since Jimmy got there, they've been one of the best defenses, especially steals, takeaways. Also, I don't know if you guys know this. If you guys looked at the season series these guys played against each other, they played 5 times. They didn't get over this number one time, except, well, I guess they got over it one time. It was an overtime game. It was the first time they played each other. They went to overtime, and they got to 250 basically. They got to 248. Other than that, neither team broke 100 except for the last 2 games. The Warriors got to 105 and the Rockets got to 106, but the other team didn't break 100. So the 4 of the last 5 games all stayed under this, and the only game they got over was an overtime game, which was the first time they played, which was when you're talking November 2nd, which was you know 2 weeks into the season. Other than that, they've been way under this number. So I love the under on this spot. It's my favorite play on kind of the board, if you will, is the under on this game. Now watch, they're gonna get to freaking 250. But anyway, my favorite play so far on the week, on the day's games is 212.5, the under here. We're gonna take the Warriors just because when I was looking through it, you've got all these close games: 93 to 99, 90 to 91, 105-98, which isn't as close, but it's still 7 points, and then 106-96 was a 10-point game, and that's when the Rockets won. But Draymond got thrown out of that game, and he fouled out way early. Steph only had 3 points. That's not going to happen. So we're going to take the Warriors. We expect the game to be close. Both teams are going to play really tight defense. So in a close game, I have to take the Warriors. We'll adjust and also I was thinking about this too, because I went back and forth on it. I really do. Because if you guys watched the video I did on the season breakdown, I picked the Rockets as a sleeper team that I think can go win the whole thing. They're plus 8,000 to win the whole thing. I like that they're the 2 seed. They won a ton of games. I like their coach, Ime Udoka, who was a Celtics coach before his fiasco and he had to get kicked out. I think the culture is really good there. They're young. They play really hard. They play great defense. I love all that in a basketball team. So I like the Rockets, and I have a ticket for them to win the whole thing, right? Plus 8,000. So I'm not rooting against the Rockets, but when you're gonna give me this low of a spread there at home, my thought is like Steve Kerr knows what they're walking into with the Warriors, and if anything, he's telling them, guys, let's go. We need to steal one on the road, right? You have to take one on the road if you're the visiting team. You win your home games, you got to steal one. Let's go steal the first one. And I think the Warriors have had 4 days of rest now. I think they come in here on fire and they say, we need to win this game. If we win this game, just hold the home serve. We can lose the next one. We just win our home games. We win this series. And so I think they're going to come in really hot and just try to steal the first game. And that's what I'm counting on. That's what this is all about. So if the Rockets win this game, obviously they got to win it. They're going to win it by 2, and this bet won't hit. So if you guys think the Rockets are going to win the game, basically that's how you're playing it, right? But I'm going to take the Warriors plus the 1. I think they're going to come in here and steal the first game, and then the series will go where the series goes. But all right, let's hop into the 4-pick parlay here. We've got Brandon Pajemski over 21.5 PRA. He's been pretty good against these guys. I didn't go through every single game, but I looked through a couple, and he's been killing it. And also, he's just been playing great down the stretch of the season, especially with Jimmy Butler. He plays great off of Steph. And if they're going to spend a lot of time trying to guard Steph, I think Pajimski gets way more open. Then we got Jalen Green for the Rockets over 28.5. This is switched from 28.5 to 27.5. It's his line for points, rebounds, assists. Okay, he's averaging 29 on the season. So to be at 28.5, 27.5, I love that a lot. So we're gonna take whatever his line is when you guys get to your book. That's what it is. But it was fluctuating between 27.5 and 28.5. I have 28.5 written down, but that's because it switched while I was writing it. So whatever number you can get it at. Then we have Gary Payton Jr. the second, whatever his name is, over 11.5 points, rebounds, assists. He's actually done pretty good. Anytime they're really watching Steph a lot, he seems to get open in the paint. He gets a lot of easy layups. He's going to rebound. He's going to pass. So I like him for 11.5. It feels way too low, to be honest. It's one of my favorite picks on this thing. And then we have Draymond Green over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's going to be all over the glass. We know that. He's going to pass the ball to Steph. He's the one, pass to Steph, set the screen, let Steph shoot the three. That's an assist, right? So I like Draymond there as well. And I bet this on him. His lineup 20.5. I bet that a lot since the Jimmy trade, and he's cashed that quite a bit. So just to recap for this 4-pick, this one pays out plus 1,000 also on DraftKings. It's Brandon Pajimski, 21.5 PRA over. Jalen Green over 28 or 27.5 PRA, whichever you can get. Gary Payton over 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Draymond Green over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and that is a plus 1,000 on DraftKings. Now, before I let you guys go, I got my 4-pick parlay, 1 pick from each game, and they're all 1 pick from these 4 picks I gave out. So we'll start with the first game. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 39.5 points plus assists. Feel great about it. Like I said, he's done that all the games against these guys throughout the regular season. Then we have Cole Anthony, the 10-plus points, because he's done that in all the games against these guys so far on the season. Then we have Tyler Hero, 28.5 plus points plus assists, because he's been hot. He's been scoring 30 points a game since that play-in tournament started. I feel great about it. And then the final one will be the Gary Payton over 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists, just because it feels like super low. They've been using him a lot, so as long as he gets the minutes, I think he's going to hit this. So this one pays out plus 1635 over on DraftKings, which is just awesome. So that is my picks for you guys. That's our recap. That's everything. Really excited for these games. Grizz Thunder should be fun. Hopefully, like I said, we're on the Thunder minus 13.5, but hopefully it's a close game, and then the Thunder can just pull ahead at the end and cover for us. Magic Celtics, I'm interested to see how the Magic match up, if they're able to play tight enough defense on the Celtics and give them some problems. The Heat, if the Heat can go on a run here against the Cavs, that would be awesome, even though I also have a Cavs to win the whole thing ticket. And then, obviously, the Warriors are my favorite team, so I love watching them play. And I have a ticket for the Rockets, and I'm very excited just to see how this matchup plays, because I think it's going to be really, really fun. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Matty Bet should be putting out some hockey, because the Stanley Cup playoffs are starting. They started today, actually. Or Saturday they started, and there's going to be games going on. Matty Betts is supposed to be putting out a video for you guys for that, so stay tuned for that. And then I'll be having a short out with the 4-pick parlay on there, so if you guys can just go check that out, that's awesome too. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. This one ran a little long, 27.5 minutes, 28 minutes, I guess. But I always appreciate the support. We appreciate the support of the channel. We're going to start winning some money, and yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow night when we put out our next video. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys tomorrow.